Scorpio, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early to mid-November 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for Scorpio gang in Scorpio season, might I add. Let's get it going here, my gods. Talk to me. What do we got for Scorpio, please? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got. Talk to me, my gods. What do we got for Scorpio gang? And while we get this card out, I just want to once again wish every single Scorpio out there a very happy birthday from me to you. So I hope it's been great, and I hope your birthday will be great if it hasn't happened yet. Let's get it going here. And God's talk to me. What do you got for us? Thank you. Okay, cool. So to me, this is a big picture type of oracle card to see, which is unique because in this particular deck, a lot of the cards do speak about like short-term energies, fleeting things. When I see this card, I think of like the big picture. So like multiple years possibly with this card, or the journey of life itself. There's a lot of depth to this card. Now, before we fully dive into it, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So we see this individual behind them. It looks like there's a sky and they're dancing on clouds. We have the white birds holding this person up by a rope. Now, in divination and in symbolism, white birds generally represent angelic beings or ancestors, our guides. We think of the love and light. We think of spiritual protection with this card, and notice how they're helping to guide this individual, this person, whether they're starting their journey, whether they're in the middle of the journey, or whether they're at the end of the journey. Spirit is protecting them and helping to guide them, not in a direct way, not in a strong arm type of way, but more as just subtle guidance to help this person wind their way through. So when this card does show up, it is just more of that, or spirit saying like, listen, Scorpio, you are protected. Things are going how they're meant to go, even if it doesn't feel like it. Now, I'm 50-50 when it comes to fate. I believe that sometimes certain things that happen that are fated, sometimes not. Sometimes things happen out of nowhere. Life is unpredictable like that. But when I see this card in the beginning of a reading, it is spirit saying like, all right, well, keep looking ahead. You have a journey to do. You have a mission, and just keep pushing forward. We're with you. So that's a beautiful thing. And also, there's just something about the big picture thinking. So we're just going to leave it at that. I could keep talking about that for like 10 more minutes, but we're going to get into tarot. And yeah, I always say the first card here doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards out in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up here for Scorpio gang. What do you got for us, please? And yeah, while we shuffle this up and get it ready to rock, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled An Explosive Return. And just keep in mind that energy can continue for a couple weeks. Energy does bleed over. To me, it felt like something or someone popping back up out of nowhere. So whether it was a situation that you've already dealt with or that you're familiar with, even a person, it just felt like something flaring back up in a big way. So just keep your head on a swivel in regards to that. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because it could be your vibe, it could be somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Scorpio gang. What do you got for us, please? What is happening? That one came out quick. Okay, 8 of Pentacles, very diligent, hardworking, putting energy and effort into something. I like this card, very Scorpio-esque if you ask me. Okay, could be career-based, Pentacle energy. Let's get a couple more out here. What do we got here? Thank you. The Sun. Whoa. Okay, it's getting a little better here, my friends. We got the Sun in position number 2. Okay, I'm going to try to be cautiously optimistic here because I don't want to get too over the edge with the positivity, but it's looking okay. Let's get one more. Thank you. Knight of Pentacles. All right, so there's a lot of earthy energy which jives well with Scorpio energy, in my opinion. So this could all be pretty dang good. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. And we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm feeling initially. If we look down here, elementally, there is a lot of pentacle energy, which can be very good. But for some of you, it could be frustrating. It just depends on what you're dealing with. We have the Sun, most positive card in the deck, and we'll go much more in depth with that. So it's like an earth and fire mixture. Now, when I look at the elements of a spread, I feel like swords and cups, that represents the inner world, emotion and logic. When we talk about fire and earth, that's more of the outside world. So the material world, money, career, action, and how we affect the world around us. So like there's a lot of outside circumstances in this week's reading. So let's go through piece by piece and build it out. I don't want to go on too many tangents here. Position number one, we're starting with the Eight of Pentacles. Now, you see this individual, very detail-oriented, chiseling away, creating a whole bunch of pentacles. It's one of my favorite cards. It represents effort. Now, for some Scorpios out there, you might just be in pentacle mode. This is career. This is business. This is earning a living. And trust me, being part of Scorpio gang myself and also reading for so many Scorpios in a personal sense, I can't think of many signs that have the work ethic of a Scorpio. So if you're a cross watcher, don't be mad at me for saying it, but usually Scorpios are very much career-minded individuals, okay? If we're not talking about career, the Eight of Pentacles, if we're talking about relationships and connections, this is effort. This is somebody working towards something or working with something or wanting to even fix something sometimes with this card. So I like it. To me, it's just like putting effort into something, which is really nice. The challenge of the Eight of Pentacles could be putting effort into something that's not going to work, or putting too much effort, or doing a little too much. So there might be something you need to balance off. Maybe you shouldn't try so hard at something. Listen, I don't know what your specific situation is, but there's sometimes in life it doesn't matter how hard we try. Sometimes it just is what it is, right? Now, moving to the center, we have the Sun, extremely positive. Leo energy. So maybe some of you are connected to Leo. If that's not the case, the Sun is the most positive. It's source energy. It's love, light, life that shines down on us. It's that spiritual connection. It's absolutely beautiful. So of course it represents blessings. Of course it represents wins. Other aspects of this card, it's a very intense energy. Have you ever tried staring at the Sun? It's hard to hold eye contact with it. So even in card form, this is a very intense card. So yes, it could be really great energy, but this is also illumination. This is also things making sense, things being brought to the surface, having realizations, having revelations about things. So in this time, for a lot of us Scorpios, we might be having aha moments where it's like, okay, now that makes sense. Now the dots are connected. Now I understand why this happened and that happened. So just keep your head open or your eyes open for that. And it could also represent information coming to the surface too. So we'll see what that's about. It feels positive so far. When I see the Eight of Pentacles moving into the Sun, it's like, all right, hard work being rewarded. Now moving to the back end is where we might find a little bit of frustration. We do have the Knight of Pentacles. So a portion of you might be connected to an Earth sign. Out of all the Knights, and I'll just say this, the Knights, they're messengers, just like pages, but they kind of represent the world of action. Like how fast is something moving, or how, yeah, we have the effort going in, but how fast is this progressing? The Knight of Pentacles, I'm sorry to say, if you're not connected to an Earth sign, it is very, very slow, steady, and meticulous. This is not fast results by any means. I'm just going to be honest with you. So for a portion of Scorpios out there, there could be someone or something that you might find quite frustrating when this card shows up, because it is so slow, it is so detail oriented. Now in the positive sense, this does always reach its goal at some point. It does always get that payoff or always get that win at some point. It's just not fast. So we'll want to see what that's about. Of course, this could just be a message too. So I don't want to say like, oh yeah, it's a problem, it's delays, it's a tough situation just yet, because there is a lot of positivity here. But we're just going to put him down right there. I want to dive deeper on all of it, Scorpio. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Scorpio gang, please? What do we got? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that 8. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Scorpio gang, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Eight of Pentacles, what's up? Why is it here? Why is that Eight of Pentacles here? Double eight's powerful, extremely powerful. So I will mention this, there is a lot of like karmic universal energy showing up here when we have the double eights and the sun. Keep your eyes open for signs, synchronicities, and omens, because you might be receiving them specifically in the guise of number signs. Okay, and sometimes it's spirit warning us about something, sometimes it's spirit guiding us. And I do feel for a lot of Scorpios in this time, especially with what we had here up front. Now we have the repeating eights, the infinity symbol, and the sun. This is very universal. So keep your eyes open for the omens and signs, because they're going to be a little heavier than normal. Now, another thing I do pick up here is when I see the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands, yes, that's all forward movement. It's a lot of effort, and this is a strong starting point. But these are both tied to conversation. So that's another theme that's starting to show up here with the Eight of Wands and that guy on the back. I mean, so this could be some sort of important or serious conversation already. Okay, when I see the Eight of Pentacles with this, for a small portion of you, this could be someone that wants to mend something too. That's not for every Scorpio. But when I see the Eight of Pentacles with the Eight of Wands, it's somebody that either one, might have an apology, or two, might want to work something out. Like, let's make a deal. Let's fix this. Let's work on this. So let's keep moving. I'm not going to get hung up there. I feel like those are the main two messages. Either keep your eyes on the big omens, or that's conversational. So we'll get more detail as we get to the back end. Let's see what the sun has. Let's see what the sun has here, because I don't want to get stuck in the front. So why is the sun in the mix? Thank you. Three of Swords in reverse. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Overcoming, triumph. These are the words that are coming to mind with the feelings that I'm getting. The sun with the Three of Swords in reverse. This is a massive winner victory right here in the center. Something that is so good that it distracts you from pain that you might be experiencing. So in this time, Scorpio, if you are going through a situation that is causing you annoyance, if you're going through a situation that is causing you discomfort or pain, there might be a win or victory that comes in the near future. Either that or a payoff for you, and it helps you, I don't want to say forget, because a Scorpio never forgets, right? That's a saying I have, a Scorpio never forgets. When I see the sun and the Three of Swords, it's like, all right, I feel better now. I feel better. I don't feel as bad about this thing. So now is a very healing time for the Scorpio collective as well, where you could process things that you may have been holding on to for quite a while. So this is beautiful. Okay, now again, most of the energy we're seeing is coming in the material world. So a lot of these wins and victories could be coming in the material world as opposed to the emotional. But I feel like something great is coming in, and it's going to switch the energy for you, where it's like, all right, I'm switching gears here. It's like, I was bothered by this, now I'm not. So let's just keep moving. I like it. I feel like it's very claimable. Powerful omen energy here. Powerful omens. So why is the Knight of Pentacles in the mix? And we will do a quick recap before we get into the shadow card. I mean, there's a lot of conversational energy already here, but why is the Knight of Pentacles in the mix? Where's the Knight here? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we do have the Page of Pentacles showing up in reverse. Now, for a portion of you, there could be something either you've been waiting on, or it's just something that might be taking a little longer than you had hoped. There's nothing wrong with little delays or situations not moving as quick as you like them. When I see the Knight of Pentacles in the upright with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, these are energies that are at odds. Okay, so again, there is, to me, it's like seeing progress in one area of life, but another one staying the same. So I would not be surprised for a lot of Scorpios. This is a multifaceted reading this week, where it's like, okay, in one area of life, I'm seeing big leaps and gains. The other area of life isn't really changing much. I wish I could change it all. It's like giving me that kind of energy as well. But again, there is a lot of conversational energy. So when I see the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles in reverse, there could be someone that either doesn't want to talk about something, but has to. Like, there is something that probably needs to be addressed with you and another individual. So whether that is work or business related or personal, when I see the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands, this energy is like, yeah, let's mend it, let's work on it, let's fix it. This one is like, I don't know, it's like a little flaky back there. So I feel with all this conversational energy, this reading just has so many different layers this week. There could be an important or serious talk that needs to be had. But let's go through and do a quick recap, because I'm going to try to remember all the different messages that were coming through. I will say overall, I feel like this is a very positive energy this week. A couple little bumps in the road though, but if you kindly look in the box before the shadow, position number 1, we're starting off here with double 8s. So we do have a couple similar themes showing up here elementally and even with the card types, but with the double 8s on the front end, the infinity sign on its side, I mean, this is very universal, especially next to the sun. And this told me that Spirit's probably going to be sending you a lot of guidance, a lot of signs. So keep your eyes open for that in this time, whether it is number signs, synchronicities, certain intuitions. Everyone knows Scorpio has a strong intuition, but the first vibe I was picking up here is either an important or a serious talk that someone either needs to have or wants to have. Like this energy wants to come to the table. Moving to the center, I have the sun with the 3 of Swords in reverse. Very positive to me. So again, this felt like a massive winner victory here in a very powerful way. More so that something that could have been bothering you for a long time, whatever this is that's coming in, will, I don't want to say it'll distract from it, but it'll be like, okay, well, I don't feel as bad about that other thing now. Like this happened, okay, that's cool. Like that, now I feel better about that. I was also getting this vibe where there is an energy that is somewhat problematic, where like one area of life could be expanding or getting better in big leaps and bounds in the near future, but one might feel stagnant. Something isn't going to stay the same forever, obviously. But when we get to the back end, the Knight of Pentacles with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, this energy wants to work on it. This energy, not so much. This energy is all in, putting a lot of effort. This one seems as if it's not doing a damn thing. But eventually it will get there, if that makes sense. So again, there is an important talk or a serious talk that needs to be had. Maybe it is about expectations, but I would say overall, beautiful energy here, claimable for the most part. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows, my friends. So let's get a good shuffle here and see what we got for Scorpio gang, please. What do we got? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out here. What do you got for Scorpio, please? What do we got? Thank you. All right. Yeah, here's the action coming in. So the card that showed up is discretion in this deck, but if we were to translate this to the regular tarot, this would be the Judgment card, which is Plutonian. It's change-based. There's a lot of push. There's a lot of action, similar to what we were seeing here, and this is also a universal karmic card, even showing up in the shadows. So everything I said about these topics still remains the same. Now, judgment can sometimes talk about literally making a judgment call or literally making a decision. So for some Scorpios, you might be at a point in your journey with something where it's like, okay, well, now's the point where I either need to go this way or I need to go that way. Do I go this way or do I go that way? That's really all up to you. But a big thing here is change and transformation whenever this card shows up. Now, the fact that it is called discretion in this deck, if we were talking about the shadow side of it, this could be Spirit telling you to be a little bit cautious in this time. Even though we have all these signs and all these good possibilities, when I see discretion in the shadows, that could be Spirit saying like, all right, Scorpio, I mean, Scorpio is generally a cautious sign to begin with, but don't do anything too wild or too out of the norm. Spirit could be saying just like, all right, just use your discretion with this. Like, don't rush this, calm it down for whatever reason. So that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Interesting way to end it off. But don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The November subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar and book one on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the November subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my all-time favorite decks, the Gilded Tarot Royale. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards, which one do you feel is the most misunderstood? And if you're new to tarot completely, which one do you have a little trouble comfortable with understanding its meaning. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.